Hey guys, I'm Enchan, and starting today, I'll be taking over Lucy's role as the host. So today, I'll be interviewing Ms. Schroeder, who's our school counselor. And although it's my first interview, I'll try my best. So without further ado, let's get right to it. We all know that every year, teachers who teach at international schools relocate their jobs to different countries. And I'm pretty sure that they're given some choice in where they want to teach. So my question for you is, was there anything special that stood out to you about ICSP that led you here?
I actually, to be honest, I didn't know much about Korea and really haven't traveled internationally very much. But I think from when I researched more about the school, I thought that the smaller school size was appealing because then I can get to know the students and staff a lot better. So I'd say that's one main thing that stood out.
So my second question is, so I've heard that being a school counselor is one of the most challenging jobs out there. So what motivated you to become a school counselor?
Oh, that's a big question. So I would say it would be my own educational experience.
In school, and then also the Holy Spirit led me to, I think the Holy Spirit led me to have a passion both for, I should say, all for psychology, for students or children, and for helping vulnerable populations like children. So school counseling kind of combined all of those interests and passions into one.
I see. I was curious about this too, but there were also other students who were wondering about this. So question 3. So I know that there are many important roles of a school counselor, but what would you say is the most essential and most important one?
Yeah, you're right. There are so many different roles that we play. I'd say if I were to prioritize one, it would be the concern for safety of our students as we deal with different crises and safety issues, just making sure that everyone is safe.
I completely agree with you. Safety is definitely something to be on top of the priority list. My next question is, well, I've heard that being a school counselor can be quite stressful at times, such as when troubled students come to you for advice. How do you handle these stressful circumstances, and could you give me an example of one?
Sure. It definitely depends on what type of troubled situation you're talking about.
But if I'm also going to add, if I'm really counseling the best way that I know how, I'm not going to give advice. I'm just going to kind of like let the student guide their own problem solving skills and solve their own problem. But if it's a troubled situation, let's say that their student is grieving over a loss of a parent.
Then I'm just going to want to listen, be empathetic, but also not putting my own emotions into the matter, and letting them have a safe place so that they can express their thoughts and feelings and then cope with the loss of their parent so that it doesn't impact their academic success.
I think that's really great. I would really appreciate having a safe space to express myself and cope with a loss. Also, I think giving students the tools they need to solve their own problems is a great way to grow independence while helping them at the same time. So my final official question is, high school students are being stressed because of the upcoming tests and college applications. Is there any advice you'd like to give specifically to the high school students here at ICSP?
Yes, sure. So I would say keep calm and press on. All the adults around you have been in the same situation. We've all felt the stress and pressure.
If I were to give advice, it would be to figure out first your purpose, and then your purpose in life, and then your passions, and then pursue your passion. It doesn't matter also where you graduate from. It just matters that you're getting the education necessary to be successful for whatever that passion is or your future goal is, and then also to make sure you're making financially wise decisions based on where you go. Sometimes college can be very expensive, as I'm sure you all know now, and then you don't want to be in debt far into your future.
Yeah, I think this will really help a lot of students here at ICSP who are currently struggling because they don't know their passion.
I hope so.
As you know, the talk has an official question at the end of each interview. So here's the official question. Are there any suggestions that you have for who the talk should interview next?
I would think, I think Mr. Song and Mrs. John are both really, they're very crucial. They play very crucial roles in our school, very important jobs, but sometimes they can go overlooked or sometimes they're under-recognized. So I would say either of them.
Yes, I agree. They're both key people to our school community, and they deserve appreciation for what they do for our community.
Absolutely.
Great. I think this is it for this interview. And once again, thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your story.
Thank you, Incheon.